Welcome to Velocity.cam, your partner to a successful cam show. I'm Brandon, and today I'm going to show you how to use the Velocity.cam cloud streaming software. Let's make sure you have everything that is needed to get started. First, you're going to want to register an account on our website. It's pretty easy. You just need a username, put an email in, choose the password, and click register. Now, if you belong to a cam studio, then you're going to want to check this additional option, I belong to a cam studio. And as you can see, it's just going to require the name of the studio, or more importantly, the email. Next, you're going to want to make sure you have a webcam and a microphone, because obviously that's what we're here to do. After registration, you're going to want to download the Velocity software to your computer. And actually, you can click here on download to get the latest version, even without logging in. If you've done that, okay, great. So let's start the Velocity software and set up your live cam show. You will need to log in using the username and password that you created during the registration process. If you don't remember, just go back to your email or go back to the site and use the recover password option. Now, Velocity, it's really easy to use. All the features are right here on the application. No additional drop-down menus, hidden screens, no. All of it's here. So right in the center of the screen, this is going to be your video stream. This is exactly as it appears for your fans. But floating on top of it, which only you can see, are buttons, and that's what I'm going to explain. And don't worry about the settings icon up here. That's for advanced features, and it's not needed to set up your initial show. So currently the camera area is empty, and that means we have not yet selected a video source. So to do that, let's go down here where it says Add Layer. I click on that button and I have 6 options. Web camera, which is my web camera, obviously. I can add an image. I can even put a web page as my live stream. Screen capture, a video, a window capture of software that you've got open on your computer. And even if I have events, I can add that software to the live stream. And I can add more than one layer, so you're not restricted to just one choice. But let's go back to what we're doing, web camera. So I choose webcam, and it gives me all the options that I have on my computer. Now in this case, I just have the one Logitech C270, which is pretty old. But if I had a laptop, I might have a built-in web camera. I might also have a USB camera that I've plugged in. So in that case, I could easily have 2 or 3 cameras on my computer, and I would have to choose which one I want to use. So I'll choose that 270. As you see, it creates a box, and now in that box is that camera feed. I can move it anywhere I want. I can resize it. I can, make it full screen. I can stretch it, skew it just by clicking those little circles. And in my case, I want to go ahead and make this a full stream because I just want to give a normal standard show. So I move my options. Now I have a full screen layer. At the bottom, you see that layer right here, and I can hide it. I can delete it. I can add more layers. And over here, I actually have some options. I can click on effects and actually change my live feed. Maybe, for example, I want to go black and white, or I want to increase my brightness or opacity. Live stream is completely edited right here with no additional software. If you're a big fan of OBS, you're not going to need that anymore, but you can actually still use it. There is a way to connect OBS directly to Velocity, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. And as you can see, I even can choose to change the zoom of my source. And some of this can depend on your camera's features. Now again, if I didn't want this layer, I could easily remove it and it would be gone. Okay, so let's add our webcam back. Now, one of the things I can do, it's a lot faster, is I can click the maximize button down here and that'll fill the screen just like that. Makes it a little bit faster for when you're going to set up. The cool thing about Velocity software, however, is when you close it, it remembers all your settings. So when you start it the next time, you're not going to have to start over setting up. So let's add your microphone. On the right hand side is the microphone bar. Now in this case, you can see it's just unmuted. I can click that and my microphone is working. But if it says device removed or it's in red, you probably need to choose your microphone source. Click this menu, configure source, and your microphone options will be listed. Now on a laptop, you're going to have a built-in microphone. You might have a USB web camera that also has a built-in microphone in most cases. And if you have a desktop microphone, such as I do, of high quality, I could easily have 3 sources of microphone. So I'm going to want to choose the one that I want to use here. In this case, I'm going to use my high quality microphone. I will adjust my settings. Good. Above that is what's called the desktop audio. Now this is important because let's say you have a YouTube channel open or other source that is producing audio that you want to include in your stream. So in this case, I would want to turn that on. And this is going to basically rebroadcast whatever's playing on my desktop, whether it's music or whatnot, right into the stream. Pretty cool, right? Nothing else to set up. And I can adjust that volume right here. Now, just for fun, let's look at something else. Let's add one more layer. I come to the add layer button and I choose to add a web page. Now you see you get this dialog here which says URL. That's the web address, or what you would see in your browser if you open it. Now it's important to note that if it's in red, this means that it's not valid. And usually this happens because you need to put the full address like it is in the web browser. In this case, http:// boom, it turned white. That means it's actually valid and it's connecting and it's working. I can control what size of page I want to bring in. This is from the web browser, okay? So it's basically putting a little miniature web browser right in your stream. I can click add and boom, my box appears. Give it a couple of seconds while it loads the web browser and loads the stream. Ah, perfect. And I can put this anywhere I want. And you can imagine if you're trying to demonstrate a site or something that, you could have that little stream there or however you want it. Pretty cool. And all of the sources that are available, maybe I want a background image of myself or maybe another webcam. If I'm doing a show where there's me and, another actor, I can have 2 webcam sources. I can, show my desktop plus cam source. There's a lot you can do here. But one thing I want to point out is on the left-hand side, you can see those are starting to stack. And so which order you have them is going to layer them on top of each other like pancakes. Because you can see here, this is on top of the other layer. So you have to kind of play around with getting, that set up how you want it, but it's still extremely easy to do. You do not require OBS or any external software where you have to learn all those features to do this cool stuff. When you're done, just click the X over here and that'll go away and back to your normal screen, okay? Now in this case, I want to go ahead and get rid of that little extra thing. You see my layers pop up over here now. Only I can see this stuff. My live stream that's going to customers do not see buttons that float, so don't worry. Anyways, I'm going to just go ahead and hide that. Good. So now let's look at the next set of features. So next, let's look at these 3 icons at the bottom. The first one is your resolution. This is exactly the size of your stream that's being sent. So for example, I click this and I get all of them. I could do a really small, all the way up to a standard 1080p, 2K, 4K. But here's the thing. You must make sure that the sites that you're broadcasting to or streaming to support that resolution. So if I'm on a site that does not support a 4K stream and I start sending it a 4K stream, one of 2 things is going to happen. Either you're just not going to be able to establish a connection and the Velocity software is going to keep showing red, and I'll show you where that's displayed in a minute, and then you're just not able to connect. Or your stream will start, but then when customers try to view it, it's all choppy or not coming in correctly. And usually in that case, the site will usually kind of kick you off after a little bit because you're sending a stream that they don't support. So to start, in your first time out, I highly recommend just stick with a 1080p stream. Next is your frames per second. This is how fast your video camera is capturing image descent. 30 per second is normal. I really don't recommend you go lower because it's going to make your stream look choppy or robotic-like. And 60 really is for a more professional quality stream. And again, not all sites support that. So if you start broadcasting in a higher resolution than what they support, you're going to have connectivity problems. So for now, stick with 30. The last button is about convenience. This is to change how the Velocity software looks to fit your needs. If you're on a laptop, as a great many broadcasters are, you have a limited amount of space. And so after you've configured the Velocity software, you don't necessarily need to show everything. And so the standard view, you might want to replace with no preview. And I can resize any corner of the software, make it as small as I want, big as I want. Or another cool layout option is the preview only, where it's just the video stream that's being sent out and nothing else. However it is that you prefer, like I said, it's very flexible. It's pretty cool stuff. Up next is right below the video stream. We've got three options here: bitrate, stream to cloud, and recording. So the byte rate is literally how much data that we're actually going to transmit from your computer to the site that you're broadcasting to. Now, very typical for Chatterbait, for Bongo, for a lot of the cam sites that are out there is going to be 5,100. You can set it higher, but if you have connectivity problems, don't be surprised, because some of those sites don't support a really high resolution stream. They start breaking, you start getting errors, so on and so forth. Now you're going to need a popular account, that's our larger account type, to support higher resolution streams and a bandwidth up to 16,000 kbps. And that's going to be, for example, if you want to broadcast a 4K stream. And our starter account is up to 6,000. Our growth account is 8,000 and 16,000 for popular. And we're not doing that just to try to get you into a higher amount. We're actually catering it to what you're going to be doing. Typically, if you're on a starter, you're broadcasting to two sites, 5,100 or 5,200 is absolutely going to be the normal and necessary for the majority of the sites that you're broadcasting to. If you're want to do more streams or you need a higher quality, that's what our next package moves up to, and so on and so forth. But in this case, let's go ahead and set it to 5,100. And you can experiment with setting it lower. Some sites are going to report that as an error as well, because, for example, Chatterbait has a minimum range that you have to broadcast in, but that will be reported on their actual site on the broadcast page. It'll say there what the error is, like your stream is too large, your stream is too low, and so you'll know to come back to Velocity and adjust that. But again, I highly recommend 5,000, maybe 5,100 to start off with. The next two options are really going to be relevant once we set up channels. A channel is the site that you're connecting to. Now, for a starter account, you can do 2. For a growth account, 4. And for a popular account, 8. So if you have a popular account type, you literally can broadcast to 8 cam sites at one time. But to do that, we got to actually set that up here. When you actually broadcast, the stream to cloud button should highlight, and that tells that your software, your Velocity software, is streaming to our server. If that doesn't show up, then that means there's something wrong and it's not working. Okay. The next option, recording, is going to be used if you decide to record your live stream to your local computer. So let's go ahead and start by adding a channel. I click the Add Channel button and I choose the campsite in question. Now, if you don't see your campsite listed here, don't worry, click Custom. And there's actually documentation available on our website to help you set up a custom stream. But for the popular ones like Chatterbait, CamSoda, Bongo, MFC, Streammate, etc., I can just choose that option. Boom. And it creates this little card down here. It's not as complicated as it looks. So on your broadcasting page, such as like on Chatterbait, it'll actually give you the option to stream to external broadcaster. And when you click that option, it gives you the key. So you would paste that key here. Once you paste that key, or if you need to edit it, you can see here, there's the RMTP key and there's the web URL. Once you've entered that information, we're all good to go. So I actually can support, now I gotta put my key in there, which I don't have right now, but once I do that, I will actually be able to click this play button. The play button will actually start the live stream. So right now, we've got it configured, but nothing is broadcasting. When I click that play button, it'll start sending our stream to Chatterbait. So what's cool is that you can one by one turn on each site or each channel, or you can do them all at the same time. The other button right here just opens the website to Chatterbait or Bongo or whatever you've got configured there. So, and this is help, pretty self-explanatory. And that's it. Again, when Velocity software is closed, it saves all your settings, so you're not going to have to re-enter any of this information. And with each card listed down below, you're ready to go. When you click the green button, you start your live broadcast. That's going to present some new stuff to you, but you're working. You're ready to go, and it's really exciting. Now, before you click the green button on your channel to start that stream, you actually need to connect to us first. Now, normally you just leave this on, and so every time you start Velocity, it's already connecting. But that Stream to Cloud button is really important. When you click Stream to Cloud, that's causing Velocity software to connect to our server. And as you can see, that slowly started to write up to the bitrate that I had in place. And that's really important. If it's green and it's up to my bitrate, that means you're able to stream that data to our server without problems. Now, if that's in red, that usually indicates there's a problem with your internet. Either it's not big enough to send that much data, or maybe it's not working, or intermittent problems. In that case, you might want to restart your router. You might want to check your settings. You might want to go to the web browser and go to one of the websites like Speed Test, where you can check how fast your download and upload speed is, and make sure that your internet connection is working properly. It's really important to see that that is in green. And on the left-hand side, there will be an icon that appears, the Stream to Cloud. This will actually show you how your software is performing, that it's streaming to our server. Now, the way Velocity works is we only create one live stream, one high-quality live stream, streaming it from your computer to our server. Then on our servers, we copy that and then rebroadcast that to the different channels that you've set up. So you look at here, if it's green, it's good to go, excellent. If you're having trouble, you might need to lower your bit rate. Maybe if you're like on a 4K or 2K setting, you might need to lower that to 1080p, because maybe you're trying to just broadcast too much information and you can't support that. And keep in mind with your internet, most of the time they advertise what your download speed is, but we don't care about that. Download is not what we're doing. We're uploading. So you might have an internet connection that's 80 megabit download, but only 10 upload. We only care about the 10 upload. So if you go to a speed test website and you find out what your real upload speed is, that's what's critical. That'll tell you what you can do here. Now, for a 1080p, 30 frame per second, 5,100 bit rate connection, you're going to typically want 20 to 25 megabit upload. If you're on a much slower upload speed, such as 8 or 10, you're going to need to reduce those settings some. Again, download speed is meaningless when you're doing a broadcast. Now, when you first start the software, you're also going to have this icon up here called CPU. Now, hopefully, it'll be in the green. This is actually indicating how hard your computer is working. If your computer is working really hard, as you see here, 95% overloaded, that's not good. It means you're going to have broadcast problems. Now, in my case, I probably need to restart my computer. I probably got antivirus scan running right now, so it's just way overloaded. Now, Velocity will try to detect which regular applications are running that are hogging everything up. And in this case, it's my video recording software, and I've got Chrome web browser open. And those would be the first two things I would want to shut down so that it doesn't interfere with my video stream. Because it's overworking my computer. If my computer's overworked, it's going to have a hard time broadcasting. You want that to be in the green. Down below are tips to show you how to improve that problem. And again, it depends on if you how technical you are, but like most of us, the technology issue can be a little daunting. Restart your computer. Shut down any unnecessary apps, including chat apps, web browser, etc. 99% of the time, that's going to now be in the green. With Velocity software, you should be running between 20 and 40% CPU load. That's normal, okay, because we're handling all this video stuff, so it's pretty cool. Now, the second icon below that is called the encoder. This is the hardware and software responsible for preparing video. So this is going to be really important, especially when you're trying to do a high quality stream like 4K. If you don't have a powerful enough GPU, that's your video processing unit, you don't have a powerful enough computer to keep up with creating such a big stream as a 4K stream, this is certainly going to tell you you're having problems. Okay, it'll be in the red. It's going to say your computer's overworking. Again, there's some helpful tips at the bottom. But for a standard usage, this should be in the green. Everything is going to be good to go. There's no sense to start your actual broadcast if any of those two or three, are in the red, because it's just going to be failing. That's why they're there. And if you're already broadcasting and in the middle of your show, one of those starts going red, you want to look at why. Something's going to go wrong and your customer experience is going to start to be choppy or disconnected. Don't wait for that. If you see it's in red, investigate why. One of the most common issues to happen during a broadcast is typically malware scanners or antivirus scanners deciding to start up during your web stream. Another really common problem that happens is you have like YouTube playing in your web browser and it's been on for a while. It has a tendency to keep increasing the amount of memory and usage on your computer over time, and you might need to just restart your browser. All right, so a couple of other things to throw out there. On the right hand side, you have the help icon. This shows you what version. You can click on our knowledge base, which is very helpful. We have pictures. We have a lot of detailed descriptions of everything that's in this video and more. And more importantly, system information. If you're going to contact support, we're going to ask you, hey, what kind of computer do you have? What operating system? What server were you connecting to? I'm sure you don't want to type all that. I'm sure you probably don't even know where to find that. We've put it here for you. And more importantly, you can click copy to clipboard. And that means you can go back to our support form and just click paste, or in a Windows PC that would be Control V. And that'll copy all that information into that message you're going to send us, and we won't need to ask, and it won't be more delays as a result. Helpful stuff. Finally, settings. Settings, for the most part, is really for people who understand the terminology and the things about broadcasting, streaming, and so on and so forth. So if you don't understand anything there, again, go to our knowledge base and also look it up on the internet. Maybe you can learn it. But if not, don't worry about it. You're almost never going to need that stuff for a normal broadcast. You can see here the first option, auto login, just so you don't have to keep putting your login in every time. And the rest of this is all rendering, streaming, and coding stuff, again, for people who really understand that tech stuff, okay? At the bottom, that's the path where if you start to record your live stream, you want that video to be saved. So you can change it very easily right here. And again, that's this button here, recording. You click that, that means it's going to record your live stream, save it as a video file to your computer. So you can watch it later, evaluate it later, whatever you want to do with it. But keep in mind, if you turn recording on, it's going to require a lot more CPU and encoding. So if those things start going to red, turn off that recording, because it means you don't really have a powerful enough computer for the type of stream that you're doing to keep up with your broadcast. Now, if you turn off stream to cloud, that means you've stopped sending stuff to us. If you don't send stuff to our server, then there's no way for the stream to work. Okay, so it won't matter that you clicked play on Chatterbait. It's not going to be sending any live stream to Chatterbait. It has to go to us first, and then from us we rebroadcast. That's the whole nature of Velocity. Now, why would you turn that off? It's really about, you know, privacy concerns. It's putting our controls into your hands, so you don't feel like we're just sending anonymous information. It also could be you're diagnosing computer problems or whatever, so you can click stream to off. If you have one of our versions with built-in VPN, there will be an extra button here to the right-hand side for VPN that it can be on or off, and that's it. So again, you can live stream, let it connect, and start broadcasting. It's trying to connect and it failed. So this says check your stream key. So it literally means it's the wrong key. So in this case, I would go back to Chatterbait, go back to my broadcast page, click on my external encoder settings, copy the proper key, come back here. Okay, I'll stop the stream, and I can just paste that new key here, or I can click this tools icon and put that relevant information here. Okay, and once you've got the correct key, click play again, and voila. Once that starts, then it's going to show you how many kilobits a second that it's. Some versions of Velocity.cam have a VPN button just after the recording button. This allows you to toggle on or off the VPN and security layer technology. If you don't see it there, that's fine. So now you have the basics. You can set up a really awesome show, do incredible things, and all with the type of professionalism that you expect from Velocity. We make a lot of frequent updates and improvements, so you can check that out on our website, and I really hope you'll leave some great feedback. This software was built over multiple years, directly tested by cam performers around the world, and has been perfected to fit the standard needs. So from everyone here at Velocity, I really thank you, and I hope that you have a very profitable stream.